Welcome to the No Budget Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? You have to tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, are my excellent co-hosts, Claire Milan.
Hello.
And Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
All right. So this week we are watching A Rainy Day in New York by He Who Shall Not Be Named so as to not offend anyone that we are reviewing this movie. A Rainy Day in New York stars Timothy Chalamet and Eli Fanning.
Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning. Elle?
Yeah,
really?
not Eli. Eli's, I think Eli's a male name, is it? Eli.
Might be a guy's name.
Yeah, like
okay.
Eli Entertainment, that actor Entertainment.
Totally differently as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet and Elle Fanning. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Sounds right. Okay. So TC and EF are a young couple that meet in college, and he's from New York. She's from the Midwest somewhere, and they go for a trip to New York, and he's really excited about it because he gets to kind of show his hood to her and impress her with his fancy life that he lives here. He's very well off. And she has an opportunity to interview a famous director played by Liv Schreiber. Is that right, Claire? Liv Schreiber?
Yeah, that's right. You got that one right. Yeah.
She goes off to interview him. And while he's waiting for her to do the interview, he goes off, hangs out with some friends, and kind of wanders around New York. The interview goes on. And basically Liv has an emotional breakdown and wanders off. So Elle goes after him along with a producer and a few other people, and kind of encounters and keeps pushing back their date. It was supposed to be like a lunch and then a dinner and so forth and so on. And he's getting more and more frustrated about it. Kind of what happens is Elle is kind of this young, I don't know what you'd call it, musy type character that all the guys in the film fall in love with. She's like, pretty young blonde, and all the sleazy old guys are instantly fall in love with her as soon as they meet her in kind of a bit of a cliche attitude. And Timothy's character is, I think, basically supposed to be a young director, writer, of person who made this film. I'll call him Woody for the purpose of this review. And anyway, so I think he's basically a stand-in for young Woody. The film itself probably isn't necessarily too different from a typical Woody film. And in regards to the style, it's really dialogue driven. There's a lot of shots of wandering around New York with long conversations as they're walking in front of the camera. A lot of wide shots in it, which are really nice because you can actually see people's feet. There's a few times with Elle in her outfit, you're like, is she wearing shoes? Because she's got like slippers on that look kind of foot-like. And it's kind of nice because it's not shot with these extreme close-ups. And it's not a big cinematography type film in the sense of, look what we can do with shaky camera, handheld, all this quick cut stuff, but just kind of these nice long tracking shots. There's a nice shot of Timothy walking into a house and he's talking to his brother, and it follows him through the door from one room to the other room, probably on a track of some kind. And then it goes to the brother, and it's just this really lovely long shot. And Woody Allen, I said his name. Woody Allen is kind of known for this kind of really lovely framing of the way he frames a picture. And it works really well in this film because, that's his style. And it's kind of one of the things that I like about the film is that it's shot in that older style and that older look. Story-wise, I'm not too super impressed in the sense of the fact that every guy in the film seems to fall in love with Elle as soon as they meet her. Everyone's super rich. I don't know. There's a lot of stereotypes in it. And it has kind of a classic cliche movie ending. But I don't know. That's the film. That's the intro. It's kind of a long intro for mine. I'm usually pretty quick at them.
Do you know what's interesting? I think we have to separate Woody from this film. I'm just judging it on the film, what I saw. So I sat down yesterday afternoon and just said, okay, what's this? And I've heard of it about 2 years ago, or it was released very quietly. I don't think it had a big release. And I fell in love with this film. Like, I just was swept along by it. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to be. And it's so beautiful, the dialogue and the flow of it. It's kind of like there's this lovely flow to the whole thing. And Timothée Chalamet, he's this lovely presence about him. I've seen other things as well. I was very impressed with him, but particularly in this, he's so perfect for his character. He's like a young Woody, you know, and he's but it's the flow of it and the fact that they bump into people and it's not forced, it's not juttery, you know. It's like one big long film shot or something. It shows up New York really well and the rich side of New York very much so. And then Elle Fanning, I loved kind of the way she portrayed the character and her innocence in one way and her naivety, and she even has a slight naive kind of accent or something. The way she talks as the character is very a starry-eyed, naive, small-town girl, but it's revealed that she comes from a banking family, so she's mega rich as well. And at the start, you don't realize that Timothée Chalamet is absolutely loaded, his family. And then when you see his house, when he visits the mother, I was like, oh my God, there must be billionaires. It was, but the look of it as well, the feeling and the rain. It's such a romantic film. Like it's rarely you kind of watch a film that it's like sitting down in a big blanket and hot chocolate, you know, that kind of feeling. And it was interesting because it is shot in wide, as you mentioned, Milo. And I noticed their feet, and particularly Elle Fanning's feet. At one stage, I was like, "Oh, is she wearing shoes?" And I just made me think, and that's probably done on purpose, a reason for that. But I just fell in love with this film. I didn't expect it. And it's just romantic. It's kind of old style. There'll be music, the dialogue, the wittiness. There are some jarring moments, like Timothée Chalamet's brother's wife has a certain laugh, which is really copied straight from Friends. You know, that kind of shrill laugh. It's the same as what's the woman in Friends again? You know, the really
was it?
With her name, but the one in Friends
right,
has
Janice,
a laugh,
yeah.
you know. So that's kind of directly copied. Janice, yeah, who can forget Janice? But it's kind of like copy and pasted into this little bit. It's just some little bits that jar with me, but overall, I describe it like romantic, beautiful, meandering, but you go with it, you know. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect it either. So yeah.
Yeah, I for one did not think about their feet, and I know what you say. It's you know, rare to see wide shots, and it's welcome when you do. But I'm a fan of Woody Allen anyway, and this film didn't let me down. Like you know, you can say it was a typical Woody Allen film, as he I think he did, and like his Timothée Chalamet, his character is just basically a recreation of a lot of characters that Woody Allen would have done over the years, with his kind of constant internal monologue and his self-analysis, and the Elle Fanning character, she was kind of typical sort of ditzy, sort of sweet, slightly confused, almost innocent, naive character who, like, things are kind of happening to her and she's not totally in control. So you could say it is derivative of a Woody Allen film, but so what? It's like giving out like, oh no, not another Mozart sonata or not another Shakespeare play. And regardless of what you think of him as a person, like for him to be doing that at his age, in his 80s, it's great. But it is, as you say, it's quite, it's very dialogue intensive. But his dialogue is great. Like, it's clever, it's witty, and it's indisputably his. There were some jarring moments, or dated. There were some references that were a bit dated, like Grace Kelly and Yasser Arafat, for instance. But they weren't dated for me. But I thought, like, this film, it could have actually taken place 50 years ago if it wasn't for the mobile phones. And I felt at times they were a bit incongruous. Like, they just slightly felt out of place. I know they were intrinsic to the plot, but just the look and the feel of it, when you see the mobile phones, it just looked wrong almost. But I mean, apart from that, I was like, it kind of, it's almost like he straddled two eras. But apart from that, I mean, I don't have a bad thing to say about it.
Yeah, that's the thing about films like this that are nice. And exactly, you go and watch a Woody Allen film, you kind of know what you're going to get. But, people go watch superhero films and they make billions, right? and you know what you're going to get in a superhero film. So how is this necessarily any different other than this focuses on story and dialogue versus special effects and action? But it's nice to see kind of a classic, timeless movie that you're right, Cathal. This could have been made 50 years ago, drop the cell phones, and it's basically the same film. And that's what's nice about it. That's what I really liked about it anyways.
Yeah. And if it was made, 50 years ago, people would have been raving about it.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. If it weren't, for his various personal life problems, people would probably be talking about it. And
even apart from that, I mean, I read some reviews and they were kind of quite disparaging, most of them.
Yeah, it's funny. I read the reviews as well, and they ripped it to shreds. Like really, like we'll go on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's ripped to shreds, this film. And if you just take the film, it's not a film that you rip to shreds. You know what I mean? It has so much in it, so much beauty that's captured in it. It's just, there's something like magical about it, and I think it was ripped to shreds for reasons to do with Woody Allen and not to do with this film. And I know the actors as well, Timothy Chalamet donated all his salary. I think it was Time's Up or one of those organizations, which is fair enough from a personal perspective. But this film isn't a film you'd rip to shreds because it has so much beauty in it. And it's, if you even listen to the dialogue, the writing of it is absolutely superb, and the look of it, it's not a film that you would tear apart except for personal reasons.
Yeah, I think that's it. The same film has two things going against it, unfortunately. One is, of course, the director and his personal life, and everyone's feelings about him. And then two, that they don't really make films like this anymore. So when Rotten Tomatoes reviewers or whoever watch this, they're like, well, where's the action? Where's the suspense? Where's this? It's just, a film of dialogue and people having conversations. How is that interesting? And so between those two things, I question whether or not we'll ever see another Woody Allen film.
Oh, we already have, by the way.
Oh, he has made a film since this?
Yeah, he's made another one since.
No way, really?
Yeah, I think it's what did I say? It's in San Sebastian. I think he's starting to get European financing now, and I think he's even still working on another one.
Wow!
But
God,
yeah,
his output is incredible, isn't it?
At his age, no kidding.
I must actually give a shout out to
Rifkin's Festival, and there's another one, an original screenplay short, which is made. Sorry, go ahead.
Wow.
But I just say it's Selena Gomez. I never really watched any of her shows. I know her as a singer, but she's actually a really good actress. And the way she bounces off Timothy Chalamet, there was a lovely kind of to and froing, and as well with Elle Fanning and Timothy Chalamet. That's not easy to do as an actor. That's actors tuning into each other. And understanding their dialogue, understanding their characters, and being able to bounce off each other. That's not easy to do at all, but it was just lovely. Those actors, they just shone, really shone in this.
With Selena Gomez, I agree. You don't think of her as an actress, but she did a really good job for basically not having a whole lot of acting experience. I don't think she's done a whole lot.
And also, Claire, just to pick up on something there, you said it was kind of released very quietly. That's not totally true, because he had signed I think it was a 5-picture deal with Amazon, and they cancelled it. They cancelled the contract, and he sued them. That's why the film is on Amazon, but also
that's interesting.
It kind of went in under the radar in a lot of ways.
Because I watched it on Amazon, and so it's there, but it's not publicized. I had to Google it on Amazon. It wouldn't come up on your homepage, but that's interesting. I didn't know that now. Yeah.
Okay. So we did good, though, of not talking too much about his personal life and focusing on the film itself in regards to our review. Good job, guys.
Well, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Well, it's because we're professionals. We focus on the products, on the art, on the creative.
Can you talk about a Woody Allen film without talking about Woody Allen? That's the question.
Yeah. Well,
We can.
we did a bit. You can't actually, yeah, because I mean, it is a Woody Allen film. All right. Well, should we rate it?
I'll go first. So the thing about watching a Woody Allen film is you always feel good after it. It's you enjoy it, but you also kind of feel a bit intellectually stimulated. So it's like eating a nice salad. I'd love to give this 5 stars, but I don't know if I can, because it isn't as good as some of the stuff he's done before. There's no doubt about that. So I will still give it 4.5.
Okay, it's good. So for me, it was such a lovely, pleasant surprise, and I probably wouldn't have watched it unless we were reviewing it. But it's like sitting there with a hot water bottle and a big blanket and a lovely hot cup of chocolate cocoa. You know, I thought it was beautiful, lovely dialogue. You know, it's a film you can zone out for 2 hours or an hour and a half, how long the film is. I really pleasantly surprised. So for me, it's 4.5 stars.
Well, nice ratings. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cliches in it, and I know a lot of people have the whole problems with the film, but I liked it. It's very classic Woody Allen. Like you said, Carl, it's not as good as some of his past stuff, but you know, that's life. So I'm with you guys. I'm not going to go 4.5 though. I'm just going to go 4. There you have it, No Budget Filmcast listeners. We really enjoyed this film and we think you should check it out. Please don't let your opinion of the filmmaker skew that for you. Enjoy it for what it is, which is just a nice, slow, dialogue-driven, lovely film. And of course, you can always let us know what you think on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at No Budget Show. And we will say see you later. Until next time.
Goodbye.